At this time, I will now hand over the presentation to Mr. DeJarvis Leonard. Mr. Leonard?
Thank you, Callie, and thank you for joining us on our December 2019 media briefing. We will have a very short briefing, but we'll give you some information as to where we are as it relates to the project. As always, we talk about the different phases. Phase A was the Harding Yellow, 12th and 31st Street bridges that was constructed. Phase 1 is the red. That was the widening of the bridges for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Avenue on I-65. Phase 2 was the reconstruction and the modification of the interchange at I-5920 and I-65. And Phase 3 is the purple color, which we are currently working on, which was the modification of the ramps at Red Mountain Expressway and at 31st Street, along with the demolition and reconstruction of the mainline bridges of 5920 through downtown Birmingham. Phase 3 is still moving forward, and we're having some good progress. As you know, back in October, we erected our last segment. Since that time, we've been working on other items to complete the mainline bridges. That includes the barrier rail. We're grinding and grooving the mainline bridges as we speak. We're installing lighting, and we will begin striping sometime in the near future. And we're installing signage, and we're completing the conventional bridges. This is a view of the mainline bridges after all the segments were in place, and the contractor's been working to get it cleaned up and grooved, grind and grooved. You can see in this photo the lighting structures that have been installed on the outside of the bridges. You can see the barrier rail that's being complete. It has to be complete, and that's taking place also. These are some areas that we have to install some of the finger joints to allow expansion of the concrete. Those will be in place. That's some of the work that's going forward to try to get the bridge in a position where we can reopen. They're working on the decorative lighting. That's not necessary for the opening, but that was a unique part of the bridge that we are constructing. This is a view of some of the conventional work that has gone on the bridge to get the decks of the ramps tying to the segmental construction. And we're still working on some conventional work on some of the bridges as we speak to get to the point where we can open the bridge. This is a view of some of the ramp work that was being done. This is some of the barrier rail that was being placed. They were still having to place on the barrier rail. Here, I think that is already complete after this shot was taken. You can see this painting of the girders that are taking place. This is some of the work that's ongoing with the grinding and grooving of the bridges. This is a view, an actual photo of the bridges as we speak at the interchange of Red Mountain Expressway. This is a view, an actual picture of the Red Mountain Expressway looking south. From the beginning of the project, we were showing you photo renderings. And if you go back and look at some of the renderings, they're very close to what the actual construction looks like after we have completed the bridges. You can see in this view the ramps coming from 31st Street. You can see the ramp coming from Red Mountain Expressway going to the main line. You can see the ramp coming from the main line going to Red Mountain Expressway south. This is the 25th Street off and on ramp. This is another view of the project. We're looking back toward the east, toward the airport. In the far view, you can see one of the bridges, the 12th and the 31st Street. This is the new 31st Street on-ramp going toward Tuscaloosa. This is the new ramp coming from Red Mountain Expressway and how they come together and tie to the mainline bridges. This is a view of the 25th Street on and off ramp. These are the existing ramps that come off of 5920 that go to Red Mountain Expressway and to Caraway. You can also see in this view the exit ramp of 5920 toward the airport and exit to 31st Street. This is the view looking west, and this is a close-up view of the interchange also, and shows some of those same ramps that we was earlier speaking of. This is the ramp from Red Mountain Expressway to the mainline bridges going toward Tuscaloosa. This is the 31st Street ramp going 5920 toward Tuscaloosa. This is another view of the 25th Street on and off ramps, a close-up view. This is the main line. You can see the mainline bridges tying to the existing roadway at this location. This location is the separation that we've talked about from the beginning of the project, where we're separating the off-ramp headed toward the airport on 5920. You can get off on 31st Street, but if you're coming from Red Mountain Expressway, you can get to 5920 without that congestion or conflict that was previously in the previous design. The question has been asked, when will the main line be open? That is yet to be determined. Contractors working very hard, some days 24 hours a day, to try to get to a point where they can open the bridge. We feel that the contractor has an opportunity to meet that 1 year, January 21st time frame to get their actual incentive. However, we want to make sure that they do everything that they need to do to get this done correctly. And so the contractor is working very hard. We plan to have a ribbon cutting ceremony. That date is yet to be determined, but we will give you notice once we set the date for the ribbon cutting ceremony. We're excited about reopening the mainline bridges for traffic. And like I said earlier, the contractor has an opportunity to make that January 21st date to be able to get his full incentive on the project. We're still working on City Walk, where Birmingham connects public space that will be underneath the bridge. We're working with the BJCC, the City of Birmingham, and other stakeholders to make this a world-class public space. This is a view of the conceptual drawing of what we are working toward at this time. The final design is not complete. We are working toward in that direction, and we appreciate the cooperation of the City of Birmingham and BJCC on these efforts, and all our other stakeholders to bring this to fruition. With this, we'll turn it back over to Callie to take any questions at this time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Leonard. As a reminder, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the 5920 Bridge website. At this time, we're going to begin taking questions. Again, if you will please type your questions in the questions box on the lower right-hand side of the screen. We'll answer them in the order they are received. Okay, we have a question that says, can you repeat the information about when the new bridges will open?
The date of the opening is yet to be determined. The contractor is working very hard to finish and get the mainline bridges open. There still will be work to have to be completed underneath the bridge. However, until we have that date, we can't announce the date of the actual opening. We do feel that the contractor has an opportunity to meet that January 21st time frame for his maximum incentive on the project.
Okay, and we have another question. Do the conventional bridges have to be completed for the mainline bridges to be opened?
It is our plan to have all the conventional bridges complete before we open the mainline bridges at this time.
Okay, and another question, is it possible the contractor could be finished with the project as soon as next month?
As stated earlier, the January 21st time frame, which is a 1-year time frame for the contractor to get his maximum incentive on the project, is we feel that he has an opportunity to reach that goal.
Okay, someone says, what additional work is still needed to be done?
The contractor is grinding the surface to make it smooth, rideability, and then they're grooving the surface to provide a better friction factor on the bridge. That's the main work that has to be completed on the mainline bridges, and there's some conventional bridge work that has to be complete also. So then you have to come back and stripe the bridges, and they'll have to finish all the lighting and get it operating also.
Okay. That concludes the questions. Mr. Leonard, is there anything else you want to add before we conclude the call?
Always, we thank everyone for being so cooperative on this project. This is a team effort, and we are excited about getting to the finish of the project, and we encourage motorists to be safe as they continue to encounter workers who are out there performing their duties. And we encourage everyone to be safe over the holidays and don't be impaired or distracted when driving.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Leonard. As a reminder, we will post a recording of this presentation on the 5920 website at 5920bridge.com. The website contains all the most current information on the project, and we encourage you to utilize the website as a resource for announcements, the media gallery for photos, and current content. If you have any questions following today's meeting, please contact Linda Crockett. And if nothing else at this time, this will conclude today's meeting. Thanks again to everyone for joining.